Welcome to Deep Dive by the Quiet Footnote. Take a moment with me right now and think back. Think about a truly unforgettable presentation you've experienced. Not just, one that was good or informative, but one that genuinely stuck with you, one that left you feeling something, maybe even changed how you saw things long after it ended. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into Carmine Gallo's Talk Like TED. Now, this isn't just another guide to presentation skills. It's more like a master key, really. A key to unlocking that kind of pure electricity you feel in those really great TED moments, the ones that embed themselves in your mind. It's sort of a shortcut to understanding what makes ideas not just heard, but, well, unforgettable. Our mission today is to pull out the most potent nuggets of knowledge and insight from this book. We'll explore its core message, dig into the common myths about communication that it just brilliantly dismantles. We'll also consider why its insights feel maybe more relevant than ever in our, hyper-connected AI-driven world. And of course, distill the absolute key takeaways that you can apply, like right away.
Because, really, at its heart, Gallo argues that true persuasion isn't just about the facts. It's about making people feel something, deeply. And from that emotional place, guiding them to think and maybe act differently. So let's unpack this. What was the real problem Carmine Gallo was trying to solve when he wrote Talk Like TED? Was it just about making presentations less boring, or was he aiming for something, deeper, more profound?
That's a really crucial distinction because, Gallo wasn't just trying to, polish presentation techniques. He spotted this pervasive problem, almost an epidemic, really. Most people are surprisingly ineffective communicators when it really counts. And it's not usually a lack of knowledge or intelligence, not at all. It's the inability to convey that knowledge in a way that truly moves people. We've all been there, right? Enduring what people call death by PowerPoint. Endless slides, jargon nobody understands, delivered in a monotone voice. You leave with maybe a head full of facts, but zero inspiration, zero motivation. It's this huge gap, this chasm between just delivering information and truly transmitting an idea that sparks something, sparks change. So Gallo's central question became really fascinating. How could ordinary people, not seasoned performers or natural-born speakers, learn to communicate their ideas with the same kind of impact? The impact of the world's most watched TED speakers. Was there some kind of universal, replicable formula, a sort of communication DNA maybe, something that made talks truly unforgettable, not just evaporating the moment they ended? He sensed there was a pattern there. Something beyond just charisma.
And his approach to finding that pattern was pretty rigorous, wasn't it? He didn't just guess. He dove into hundreds of TED presentations, analyzed them meticulously, and then actually talked to countless successful speakers.
Exactly, hundreds.
So his aim shifted, right? From just helping people speak better to empowering them to inspire better. He fundamentally reframed public speaking, moving it away from just being a performance to being a genuine act of connection. It's about bridging that huge gap between those lifeless info dumps we've all sat through.
Oh, yeah.
And those really emotionally charged, story-driven experiences that actually resonate and stick with you long term. Okay, so this brings us nicely to Gallo's core findings, these 9 principles he found. And he organizes them around 3 powerful themes: emotional, novel, and memorable. Let's dig into a few of these that really highlight his underlying message.
Absolutely. Let's start with the first theme, emotional. It begins with unleash the master within. And the core lesson here is, it sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Passion is contagious. People will only truly care about your idea if they can see, feel, and hear how much you care. Your passion, it needs to be the absolute spine of your talk, the hidden energy driving every word. A really vivid example is Dr. Jill Bolton-Taylor. She's a neuroscientist. In her talk, My Stroke of Insight, she shared her deeply personal experience of having a stroke, her raw authenticity, her palpable passion. It just transformed this highly technical subject into one of the most watched TED Talks ever. It's like Simon Sinek, who Gallo often cites, famously put it, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
It resonates so much. If you don't feel it yourself, how can you possibly expect anyone else to? But I wonder, for someone who might be naturally more reserved, maybe more introverted, how do they unleash the master within without feeling, fake or forced? Is there a risk of performing passion?
That's a great question. And Gallo touches on that. It's not about pretending to be an extrovert or putting on some kind of act, not at all. It's about genuinely connecting with your own conviction, your belief in the topic. It's about finding the why behind your message that truly excites you. And once you tap into that genuine feeling, even subtle shifts in your voice, your eye contact, maybe your natural gestures, they'll convey that real passion. It feels organic, not theatrical.
Okay, so it's about finding your authentic why.
Exactly. And still within that emotional theme, Gallo powerfully stresses mastering the art of storytelling. Stories are, like, without question, the most powerful way to make information stick. Sure, data can convince the logical part of the brain, but stories. Stories move hearts. They drive action. Think about Bryan Stevenson's incredible TED Talk on justice and equality. He opened with this deeply personal story about his grandmother. Instantly, the audience was hooked. And what's truly remarkable, get this, he spent 65% of his talk telling stories. Not just rattling off facts or legal stuff. It just goes to show, like Gallo says, storytelling is not something we do, it's who we are. We're just wired for narrative.
We absolutely are, yeah.
Yeah.
And that leads us perfectly into the next theme, novel. What about these jaw-dropping moments? This sounds, I don't know, a bit dramatic maybe, like something out of a movie. How does that work in a presentation?
It's kind of exactly that. The deliver jaw-dropping moments principle is about intentionally crafting at least one moment. One unforgettable, truly surprising, whoa, or holy smokes moment in your presentation. Audiences today especially, they don't remember every single word you say. They remember the highlights, the emotional peaks, the surprises. The classic example, and I remember actually seeing this, was Bill Gates during his TED Talk on malaria. He famously released a jar of live mosquitoes into the audience.
No way.
Yeah, and declared there's no reason only poor people should have the experience. Now, it wasn't just a stunt for shock value. It dramatized his point about the reality of malaria in a way that no statistic, no chart ever could. It just etched the message into everyone's memory. You could probably ask someone 10 years later about that talk.
And that's the bit they'd remember.
That's the one detail they'd recall,
Right.
not the impressive statistics he also shared.
Wow. That's certainly one way to grab attention. It creates such a lasting impression. Okay, and finally, under the memorable theme, there's a principle that, for me, feels like the absolute bedrock of powerful communication. Stay in your lane, be authentic.
Oh, this is absolutely crucial, and maybe the most important one today, actually. Gallo argues that the most impactful talks, the truly great ones, always reflect the speaker's authentic voice. Their natural quirks, their real values. Trying to pretend to be someone you're not or just copying another speaker's style, it always falls flat. The audience can just sense the disconnect. Brené Brown's iconic talk, The Power of Vulnerability, is a masterclass in this principle. It worked so incredibly well precisely because she embodied her message. She was imperfect, incredibly open, self-deprecating, and just absolutely real.
You felt like you were listening to a real person.
Exactly. And that raw realness connected with over 60 million people, it just reinforces that timeless wisdom from Oscar Wilde, which Gallo quotes, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken."
It's such a simple truth, but so profound. These principles really connect back to you, our listener. Whether you're pitching a big idea at work, giving a formal presentation, or honestly, even just telling a story to a friend, the core idea is always about making your message resonate deeply, authentically. Okay, so we've talked about what makes a great talk, according to Gallo, but often, just as important, is unlearning what we think makes one, those bad habits. What were some of the really stubborn misconceptions Gallo challenged in the book, the ones we've probably all fallen for at some point?
You're so right. He was a genuine mythbuster. He systematically took down several really deeply ingrained misconceptions that consistently lead to, well, terrible presentations. Okay, myth number one, the belief that data and facts alone are enough to persuade. Most people think if they just pile on enough charts, enough graphs, enough numbers, the audience has to be convinced, right?
Load them up with logic.
Exactly. But Gallo just debunks this completely. He makes it clear. Facts inform, sure, but they don't inspire. It's stories that create that essential emotional resonance, making the facts actually stick. Remember Bryan Stevenson?
Mm-hmm. The stories made the issue real.
Precisely. He didn't just bombard us with statistics on injustice. He humanized it through narrative. That's what makes the facts land. Okay, myth number two. This idea that being professional means being super serious, no humor, no personality allowed. You know, that old dusty belief that humor somehow cheapens the message? Or that to be credible, you must be formal, maybe even stiff.
Corporate mask.
Right. Gallo definitively shows that humor, when used well, makes speakers relatable, memorable, human, an authentic personality.
Yeah.
That's what truly earns trust and builds connection. Think of Sir Ken Robinson's talks.
Oh yeah, they were hilarious but so insightful.
Exactly. Famously sprinkled with witty one-liners, they became global classics precisely because of his engaging, authentic, funny personality. Then there's myth number three, that longer is better. This idea that spending more time somehow equals more thoroughness or makes you seem more impressive.
Right, like you have more important things to say.
Gallo provides a really strong counterargument.
Yeah.
The human brain has limits. Simple as that. 18 minutes. That's the scientifically validated sweet spot for attention, for retention, for impact. Anything beyond that risks rapidly diminishing returns. Your audience just checks out that strict 18-minute cap at TED. It isn't some random rule. It's rooted in cognitive science about how long we can truly hold focused attention.
Before our minds just wander off.
Exactly. And myth number 4, the idea that authority requires perfection. This is that ingrained belief that you have to present flawlessly, hide any mistakes, avoid showing any vulnerability to be taken seriously.
You never let them see you sweat.
Precisely. But Gallo's powerful debunking shows that, paradoxically, vulnerability and authenticity actually build stronger trust and credibility. Audiences resonate far more with genuine imperfection, with an honest human connection, than they do with robotic polish or some facade of flawlessness. Brené Brown's talk is the ultimate proof. Her raw honesty didn't diminish her authority one bit. It amplified it exponentially.
So Gallo didn't just give tips. He really turned decades of ingrained habits and, let's face it, bad advice on its head. It sounds like he pretty much proved that, yeah, less is more, story beats stats, humor and passion win trust, and authenticity is the true superpower.
But if these myths are so common, why do you think we as communicators clung to them for so long, even when they kept leading to those death by PowerPoint snooze fests? That's a really interesting question. I think it probably boils down to a few things. Firstly, just tradition. That's how we were often taught, maybe through old corporate training or academic presentations. It's just how it's done. Secondly, maybe a misguided sense of what professionalism looks like, that old idea that seriousness equals gravitas. And crucially, I think, a fear of vulnerability. Let's be honest. It's easier to hide behind data and formal language than it is to open yourself up through a personal story or genuine passion.
It feels safer.
It feels safer, exactly. Gallo basically gave us permission to be more human, which, ironically, makes us far more effective communicators.
That makes total sense. Okay, let's pivot a bit now and ask, why is this book arguably more urgent, more relevant today than when it was first written, especially in our incredibly noisy digital world and, with AI becoming such a big part of everything?
That's a critical question, absolutely. And it's where Gallo's insights feel genuinely prophetic. When he wrote Talk Like TED, TED Talks were kind of the gold standard. Today, the principles he laid out aren't just good practices anymore. They are, I'd argue, fundamental survival skills for communication. Firstly, think about the attention economy. It's just fiercer than ever before. That 18-minute TED rule, it now feels almost generous.
Right. Compared to what, TikTok?
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you look at platforms like TikTok or Instagram Reels, they often give you maybe 8 to 18 seconds before people just swipe away. So brevity, crystal clear clarity, and really powerful, concise storytelling aren't just nice to haves. They are absolute survival skills if you want to capture and hold anyone's attention.
You have nanoseconds to make an impact.
Pretty much. Secondly, and this feels incredibly profound right now, authenticity is the new currency. In a world absolutely saturated with AI-generated content, deepfakes, perfectly curated influencers, audiences are desperate for realness.
Something genuine.
Something genuine. Gallo's emphasis on vulnerability feels so prescient here. It's like a human shield against this rising tide of artificial content. When a machine can craft a perfectly logical, fact-based argument, our uniquely human capacity for vulnerability, for authentic storytelling, that becomes not just a skill, but an irreplaceable differentiator.
That's what makes us human.
It is. It's no longer about competing just on facts. It's about making your humanity undeniable. People are tuning out perfection. They are actively leaning into honesty and authenticity because it feels rare, scarce even. Thirdly, multisensory communication is now just the norm. When Gallo wrote the book, visuals mostly meant, PowerPoint slides.
Yeah, bullet points.
Bullet points.
Yeah.
Today, every talk, every social media reel, every webinar competes with sophisticated visual effects, endless memes, expert sound design. So his principles for engaging multiple senses, for making your data dance or painting vivid mental pictures, they're even more critical now to stand out in this visual and auditory flood. Think about podcasts like this one, even. They're getting more sophisticated with sound, with voice. It's about leveraging every sensory input you can to make your idea stick, not just be seen or heard passively. And, this leads to what I think is an unheard truth from the book. Gallo wasn't just writing about giving speeches on a big stage. Not really. He was offering a blueprint for how humans can stay human and connect meaningfully while communicating in this increasingly digital, noisy, very distracted world. Every time you open your mouth, every time you hit publish on social media, every email you send, you are, in a way, giving a TED Talk.
Why?
The audience just might be on their couch instead of in a red chair or scrolling on their phone while waiting for coffee. The principles still apply.
That's a really profound thought.
Yeah.
Every interaction is a kind of micro TED Talk. Okay, so to distill it all down for you, our listener, what are the absolute top 5 key insights Carmine Gallo wants every reader to really internalize from talk like TED?
Okay, let's boil it down. Here are the top 5, distilled to their core essence. These apply whether you're on a huge stage or just chatting with a colleague. Number 1, passion is contagious. Simple. If you don't care deeply about your idea, nobody else will. Your enthusiasm is the ignition.
Got it. Number 1, passion.
Number 2, stories trump stats. Always. Numbers and forms, sure, but stories make people feel, and that feeling is what drives action and memory.
Number 2, stories over stats.
Number 3, less is more. Brevity forces clarity. That 18-minute rule, or even less now, it's the sweet spot for impact, not just a suggestion.
Number 3, keep it concise. Less is more.
Number 4, design unforgettable moments. Audiences remember highlights, the wow moments, not every single word. Give them something truly sticky, something to talk about later.
Number 4, create those memorable highlights.
And number 5, authenticity beats polish. Realness, your quirks, your vulnerabilities, your genuine self. That is the ultimate superpower in a world drowning in filters and fabricated perfection.
Number 5, be authentically you. Love it.
And if you want Gallo's own one-sentence summary, he put it like this. Talk Like TED is a blueprint for turning presentations into unforgettable experiences by leading with passion, wrapping ideas in story, keeping it short and surprising, and showing up as your truest, most human self.
That really captures it. And from our perspective, what these insights really mean for you listening right now, it's that communication is fundamentally an active connection. It's not just a performance you put on. It's about recognizing that vulnerability, far from being a weakness, is actually a profound source of credibility, of trust, and maybe most importantly today, in this sea of sameness with AI generating so much, your unique, authentic self. That is truly your strongest edge. So with all this incredible insight, what's next for you? What's the actionable step you can take today beyond just, listening to us talk about it?
Right. The challenge now is to actually apply these powerful principles. Apply them to your own daily communication. It's not just for the big speeches or the formal presentations. Think about your next email, your upcoming team meeting, that social media post you're thinking about drafting, or honestly, even just a personal conversation with a friend or family member. Before you communicate, maybe just take a moment. Consider your why. Why does this matter to you? Actively look for opportunities, even small ones, to weave in a personal story, however brief. Embrace your authentic self, quirks and all. Don't try to be someone else. And always consider, how can I make this message truly stick? Not just inform, but resonate, be remembered.
That's a powerful, practical call to action. Thank you. And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought to mull over. To truly move others, you must first dare to be moved yourself. Thank you so much for joining this Deep Dives by the Quiet Footnote. We look forward to exploring more fascinating topics with you in our future deep dives.